this is my home. Like, why? I mean, it don't bother. It's bothering y'all more than it's bothering me. This is my home. You know, it doesn't really matter. Oh, who cares? It was their old marital home. It was his home first. He moved her in, and then she left, and then that was it. It was still his home. So, you know, it wasn't like me coming here and it was a bunch of pictures of him. No, everything was empty. It was my blank canvas, and I got it decorating and all that.
For months, fans of Married to Medicine have been waiting for Sweet Tea to share her side of the story regarding her relationship with Dr. Gregory, and now she has finally spoken out. What she revealed has caught everyone by surprise, offering a perspective that many didn't expect. For a long time, people have been trying to piece together what really went wrong between them, and Sweet Tea's account is turning everything fans thought they knew on its head. At the beginning of their relationship, it seemed like a fresh start for Dr. G. He had recently gone through a highly publicized and messy divorce from Quad Web. Afterward, people thought he might stay single for a while to heal. But then Sweet Tea came into the picture. She was young, attractive, and full of life, everything Quad wasn't, or so it seemed. The couple quickly became the talk of Married to Medicine, with fans wondering if this was Dr. G's chance to find true happiness.
The group is kind of like blaming me and blaming you.
That's just not right.
To ice me out based off of what my husband's decisions are.
The issue is respect.
However, not everyone was convinced. The show had already shown that relationships in the public eye required more than just chemistry. There were expectations, responsibilities, and constant public scrutiny. Despite the challenges that came with being in a public relationship, Dr. G and Sweet Tea moved quickly. They were always seen on lavish dates, receiving expensive gifts, and enjoying romantic getaways. Their relationship seemed like a whirlwind romance, and before long, they were engaged. While fans celebrated the engagement, some started to question if Dr. G was rushing things. Was Sweet Tea genuinely in love, or was she caught up in the excitement of it all? However, speed wasn't the only issue.
I'm never going to beg to be a part of a group. If people don't want me, you don't want me.
Despite how it appeared from the outside, their relationship wasn't as perfect as it seemed. Behind closed doors, things weren't always so rosy. Some people believed that Dr. G's need for control played a big part in the struggles within their marriage. It appeared that after his divorce, Dr. G wanted to prove to the world and perhaps even to himself that he could still have a successful marriage, one that fit the image he wanted. He had a lot to prove, and Sweet Tea may have been a part of that picture. But was Sweet Tea just swept up in the excitement, or was she trying to build something real? Sweet Tea certainly had her own ideas and expectations. While Dr. G seemed to want to control everything, from how Sweet Tea dressed to how she acted in public, Sweet Tea wasn't willing to lose her identity. She had her own life and her own ambitions, and she wasn't going to sacrifice them to fit into Dr. G's world. This created tension between them.
Pissed off, and I was like, you know what? Like, why would you want to be there, you know? And then looking at it, like, you've been shading me since the first episode. Like, I didn't know, like, you know, it's just a lot of things were going on behind my back that I did not know about, and I was just kind of hurt and shocked by it. And I just wanted to let her know, like, I'm not a pushover, and you ain't gonna get away with it.
According to sources, Dr. G liked things done his way, and when Sweet Tea didn't follow his lead, it caused constant friction. But that wasn't the only problem. One of the biggest issues was money. Dr. G had already established himself financially. He had a successful career and a certain lifestyle that he expected his wife to maintain. Sweet Tea, on the other hand, was still trying to build her own career and financial independence. This disparity created further conflict. Dr. G, according to some reports, used his financial stability as a way to set expectations for how Sweet Tea should behave. He expected her to follow his lead and adjust to his way of life, which led to frequent arguments. Sweet Tea, on the other hand, didn't want to feel indebted or controlled by him. She wanted her own financial independence, but whenever she raised the issue, it only caused more tension. And this financial struggle was just the tip of the iceberg. The couple's personal struggles began to spill into the public eye, with people from their inner circle revealing details of their private battles. At first, Dr. G and Sweet Tea tried to maintain a perfect image. They posted sweet pictures on social media, attended public events together, and kept up appearances on Married to Medicine.
I think there should be anyone who doesn't fight for their marriage. I mean, if you don't respect the institution of marriage. So I fought for my marriage, but that doesn't mean that was healthy at all. It got to a point where it's very unhealthy.
It wasn't right for
and
us.
so I moved on.
Not in the morning,
And
not in the evening. It wasn't right.
However, behind the scenes, things were falling apart. According to insiders, Sweet Tea felt neglected in the marriage. She had entered the relationship expecting love and partnership, but she felt like she was just an accessory to Dr. G's public image. There were even rumors that Dr. G was still emotionally tied to his past with Quad Web. According to reports, Sweet Tea felt like she was constantly being compared to Dr. G's ex-wife, which added more strain to the relationship. She didn't want to be seen as a replacement for Quad, but it began to feel like that's exactly what she was. Eventually, these private struggles started to leak to the public, with friends and insiders revealing snippets of what was really happening in the couple's home. Then, the unthinkable happened. Sweet Tea allegedly discovered something that changed everything. What she uncovered, sources say, was the breaking point. Some reports claim she found out about another woman, someone Dr. G had been seeing on the side. Others suggest the issue was related to money, with Dr. G possibly hiding financial problems from Sweet Tea. And then there are even reports suggesting that Sweet Tea discovered something from Dr. G's past that made her question everything about their relationship. Whatever it was enough to make Sweet Tea realize she had to leave. And she didn't just think about it, she packed her bags and left immediately. This wasn't just another fight, this was the moment that ended everything. But Sweet Tea didn't leave quietly. At first, she began posting subtle messages on social media, letting her followers know that she wasn't going to let anyone control her happiness. Her posts read like personal reflections, but soon fans began to connect the dots. Sweet Tea was hinting at something more. Then, she dropped the bombshell she agreed to give an exclusive interview, revealing everything that had been going on behind closed doors. For the first time, Sweet Tea opened up about her side of the story, and it was nothing like what people had seen on TV. She described feeling trapped in the marriage. She claimed that, while Dr. G appeared charming in public, their private life was all about control. She said every major decision was made by Dr. G, and when she tried to express herself, she was met with resistance. She felt like she couldn't be herself anymore. In the interview, Sweet Tea claimed that the relationship wasn't about love, it was about image. Dr. G wanted a wife who would fit into his lifestyle and look good in public. Sweet Tea alleged that she was pressured to maintain a certain image while dealing with emotional neglect behind the scenes. It wasn't just about the way she looked, it was about how she behaved, what she said, and how she presented herself. She felt like she was being molded into something she wasn't. As for Dr. G, publicly, he hasn't said much in response to Sweet Tea's interview. Some sources claim that he was blindsided by her decision to go public. He may have known she was unhappy, but he never expected her to share these details with the world. Others suggest that Dr. G might have been aware of the tension, but didn't think it would go this far. So, where does this leave things? Fans are divided. Some are praising Sweet Tea for speaking up and reclaiming her voice. They believe she is finally standing up for herself and escaping a toxic situation. Others are skeptical, wondering if there is more to the story than Sweet Tea is letting on. They question whether her emotions are clouding her judgment or if she's only telling part of the truth. And then there's Dr. G. Will he respond, or will he remain silent and let the rumors die down? History tells us that the drama surrounding Married to Medicine never stays quiet for long, so whatever happens next, people will be watching closely. Sweet Tea, on the other hand, seems to be embracing her independence. She's posted messages about moving forward and focusing on her own path. But does that mean the drama is over? Some insiders believe Sweet Tea still has more to say, and if that's true, we may not have heard the last of this story. So, what do you think? Do you believe Sweet Tea's version of events, or do you think there's another side to the story we haven't heard yet? Will he respond, or will he remain silent and let the rumors die down? History tells us that the drama surrounding Married to Medicine never stays quiet for long, so whatever happens next, people will be watching closely. Sweet Tea, on the other hand, seems to be embracing her independence. She's posted messages about moving forward and focusing on her own path. But does that mean the drama is over? Some insiders believe Sweet Tea still has more to say, and if that's true, we may not have heard the last of this story. So, what do you think? Do you believe Sweet Tea's version of events, or do you think there's another side to the story we haven't heard yet?